All right, let's pull back the curtain on something called tri-cloud promotion gates. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but stick with me because this is the hidden system that keeps your favorite apps from, completely falling apart. We're going to break down exactly what it is.
So, have you ever wondered what's really stopping your most used apps from crashing right after a big update? What's that invisible force field that keeps a buggy new feature from just ruining your day? Well, the answer is a really powerful, totally automated system that acts as the ultimate quality check.
Okay, so to get this, we first have to understand the world this code lives in. It's what we call the multi-cloud maze. See, modern apps are rarely built in just one place. Instead, they're spread out across different cloud services. Think Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. And this creates an incredibly complex web for any new code to navigate. To handle all this complexity, code has to travel through three completely separate worlds. First, it's born in the development environment. Let's say that's on AWS. And that's where developers are actually writing it. Then it moves over to staging, maybe on Azure, which is kind of like a final dress rehearsal. And then finally, if it proves itself, it goes live to you, the user, in the production environment, which could be on Google Cloud. Each step is a huge leap into a totally different territory.
So, how in the world do you control code that's hopping between all these different clouds without causing a total disaster? Well, this is where a really clever idea comes into play, the promotion gate. So, what exactly is a promotion gate? Honestly, the best way to think of it is as a super strict automated bouncer for your code. It's a checkpoint that software absolutely has to pass before it's allowed to promote or move to the next level. It's not there to be difficult. It's there to make sure only the best of the best, the highest quality, most secure code actually makes it through.
Basically, the code has to earn its way forward. It's almost like a graduation ceremony before it can leave the comfort of the development world and move into the much higher stakes environment of staging. It has to pass a whole series of tough exams to prove it's really ready for the challenge. So what are these exams? Well, that first major gate, the one between development and staging, is made up of four absolutely essential checks. Let's dig into what they are. We call this whole process the quality gauntlet, and it is just as intense as it sounds. Before any piece of code can move on, it's forced to run through this series of automated trials. And if it fails even one of these checks, from integration to compliance, it gets sent right back to the start. No shortcuts, no exceptions. First up, integration tests. This is basically the teamwork test. Imagine adding a new violin to an orchestra. This check makes sure that new violin doesn't throw the entire symphony completely out of tune. It verifies that the new code plays nicely with all the code that's already there. Next, the code faces the security checkpoint. And you can think of this as a digital metal detector on steroids. Automated tools scan every single line, hunting for any weaknesses or backdoors that a hacker might be able to exploit. This is a non-negotiable step to protect the app, and of course, all of us who use it. Third, we've got performance benchmarks. And this one is all about our experience as users, right? Does the new code make the app slower? Does it eat up too much memory? We all hate a slow, clunky app, and this test makes sure that new features are zippy and efficient, making our experience better, not worse. And the final test in this gauntlet, compliance. This is the legal checkup. An automated scan makes sure the code follows all the necessary rules and regulations, like GDPR for data privacy or HIPAA for healthcare info. It's absolutely essential for protecting our data and making sure the company is operating by the book. Phew. Okay, so once our code has made it through that gauntlet, it enters the staging environment. Now, here it gets put through even more real-world testing. But the journey isn't over yet. There's one more gate to pass, and it is without a doubt the most critical one of all. This is it, the final boss battle, the gate between staging and production. This is the very last line of defense before that code gets out to potentially millions of real people. The checks here are often even more strict, sometimes even involving human reviews, because a mistake at this stage could have huge consequences. The stakes just couldn't be any higher. So after hearing all that, you might be thinking, wow, that sounds like a ton of work. And you're right, it is. But the payoff is absolutely enormous. Let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture of why these promotion dates really, truly matter. I mean, the impact is crystal clear when you just look at the risk. Without these gates, every single software update is a huge gamble.
It's like a high-wire act with a massive risk of bugs, crashes, and security holes. But with gates in place, that risk just plummets. It turns software development from a game of chance into a reliable, predictable process. So what does all this mean in the end? Well, the payoff is huge for literally everyone involved. We get safer applications because vulnerabilities are caught way early. We are happier users because the apps we rely on every day are stable and fast. And the developers themselves can innovate with way more confidence, knowing they have a safety net. The end result? We all get better, more reliable updates faster. Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. We've automated so much of this process already, from testing all the way to deployment. But as our AI and machine learning tools get even smarter, is it possible that these promotion gates could one day evolve to run themselves entirely, making decisions about code quality better and faster than any human ever could? Now that is a fascinating future to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.